KJ? Come on. Who killed KJ? Who killed KJ? Thank you.
Johnson's family and their spokesperson met with the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office today to discuss what they believe is new evidence. This comes after the Sheriff's Office received new files in the case this month. The U.S. Attorney's Office sent the sheriff 17 boxes of evidence. The sheriff says they have interviewed someone since then. Johnson was found in a gym mat inside Lowndes High School gym in 2013.
Kendrick Johnson's family say they are full of hope after they bring a new recording to light with a possible confession. Lowndes County Sheriff's Office is currently working to authenticate that recording and find out the voice on it. WLB News 10's Jennifer Moore-John joins us live now with the very latest details.
Jim, the family spokesperson, and KJ's mother say they're not sharing just yet, but for the first time in 8 years, there's hope for justice.
It just took me back to when Kendrick was first killed, when I found out Kendrick was first killed. Like, when you say that shouldn't have happened to Kendrick, you're exactly right. It shouldn't have happened to Kendrick. Kendrick was in school, should have been the safest place that your child can be in. And my son lost his life, but for what?
Jacqueline Johnson, Kendrick's mother, shared how she felt when she first heard the audio recording. The family says they believe it is a confession of the killer. Joined by the family spokesperson Marcus Coleman, they presented the audio recording to Sheriff Ashley Polk.
Today we delivered what we have authenticated. Make sure that's extremely clear. We have authenticated on our end a 25-second audio clip of what I can say right now is what appears to be a Caucasian male admitting to killing Kendrick Johnson.
Coleman says they authenticated the audio before presenting it to the sheriff, making sure it wasn't fake. He says the audio was recorded secretly and sold to the family by who they describe as an alleged family member for $1,000, and it was recorded last weekend.
And I quote, "They're gonna catch me anyways. I should have never done this. I was young and stupid. Kendrick didn't deserve this, man." A couple of seconds go by, and he ends with a very tearful, "They're gonna catch me anyways."
Sheriff Polk tells me it's a great feeling having the new evidence, but hopes someone is not playing a cruel joke on the family. He says verifying the voice and authenticating the recording is doable, and they have equipment that will help. Polk says he'll be asking the GBI for help as well. Sheriff Polk tells me they've already questioned 2 people since the reopening of the case.
Sometimes, something like that would drive people out, people, even bad people have consciences.
The family believes, and Sheriff Polk confirms, the recording may possibly be of someone already questioned in this investigation.
At any time, you know something in your heart, continue to push. Don't never let nobody stop you from fighting for your child, because your child matters. No matter how the people try to make your child out to be the villain, your child is still the victim.
Sheriff Polk and his team are currently investigating and trying to verify the voice in that audio recording, and for now that audio recording will not be released. In Valdosta, Jennifer Moore-John, to the AOB News 10.
The father of Kendrick Johnson. We are here today to address the findings of Sheriff Ashley Polk. They said Brian Bell the target never crossed paths. I ask you to do your research, to look at the documentary, look at the FBI report. It said they did cross paths.
The Johnsons point out several things they disagree with in the sheriff's 16-page summary, including results from a third autopsy report and the conclusion students the family suspects were involved never had contact with their son the day he died.
They never crossed paths.
It's gonna come out no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
Sheriff Pride, you all stood there and told me and my wife 2 different ways that my son was found. Do you remember that?
Do you remember?
One day, you come out one way and say my son was found. The very next day, you came out and say he was another way. Which way was it? I'm not going by hearsay. I'm not going by Facebook. I'm telling you what you told me. You said it out of your mouth. How my son was found dead the first time. You came back the next day and said another. How can you get it wrong? You couldn't get it mixed up because you was there. It come out your mouth and you know I'm telling the truth. Brad Jones, Sheriff Pride, and Wonderham. It was another black guy, he's a crime scene investigator. It come out of your mouth and you told us a lie.
They never crossed paths.
It's gonna come out no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
They never crossed paths.
It's gonna come out no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
One thing we kept hearing over and over again was about this missing FBI report regarding the security tape hard drive and the blacked out footage. So we looked into finding that report to see if we could locate it, and we did. However, the report was heavily redacted. But then we were able to find the unredacted FBI report, and what we discovered blew us away. You see, in the redacted report, you can barely see any of the video frames. Most of the frames are blacked out, and the ones with KJ are barely recognizable. In the unredacted report, we were able to see all the video frames in full color. The report follows KJ, Brian, and Brandon's movement throughout the school for the entire day and records where they were. Not only is this further video evidence that the Bell Boys were on campus when KJ went missing, we found something that the FBI clearly didn't want us to see. Let us put them side by side so you can see what we found. Here they are. Can you see something a little odd? Look closely. There appears to be a frame on both pages that matches. How could this be? What tipped us off is KJ's yellow folder. We were going through Brian's movements and all of a sudden, KJ's folder appeared on screen. That's right. There's a frame on KJ's side and Brian's side that is identical. The boys are standing seemingly right next to each other in the hallway.
Did you see Kendrick that day?
No. I did not.
Seeing the alleged killer of KJ standing next to him in the hallway the day he died in school has sent chills down our spines. How did no one see this frame? How did the FBI let this go? Why did it take 6 years and an independent filmmaker to find this? These are all questions that may never go answered. But what we do know for sure is that we have more facts now than we ever had. And this case needs to be reopened and re-examined with a fine-tooth comb.
This is why we don't trust anything that the sheriff of Valdosta said, that anything ever come out their mouth. And other than that, the clothes that he had, what he dressed out in, how's the data missing? From the clothes he had on, from where they took him to make him to the crime lab, how come that they are missing? So out of all this stuff that's going on, why isn't someone arrested for something?
Amen. How long?
So is it the whole system in together? Cause it ain't no way in the world that y'all don't see something. No. Thank you.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
Investigators say Kendrick's death was a tragic accident, that he climbed onto these rolled gym mats to reach for this shoe at the center of one mat, slipped, got stuck upside down, and died. County officials say the blood in this photo spilled after Kendrick's heart had stopped pumping hours after he had died. But Kendrick's parents say the photo and the video show something else.
There's enough evidence to show that Kendrick was murdered.
CNN has exclusively obtained the 15-minute video and nearly 700 photos of the scene taken by Lowndes County investigators. And for the first time, Kendrick's parents, Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson, are ready to look at them, including these pictures of orange and black gym shoes investigators found just yards from Kendrick's body.
Did these shoes belong to Kendrick?
No.
When you look at these shoes that were at the scene, what stands out to you?
The blood on the shoe.
But investigators say tests show the stains are something other than blood, so the shoes were not collected as potential evidence.
I don't understand why.
CNN took the photos to independent private investigator and former FBI Special Agent Harold Kopis.
If you were on this scene, would this have been something you would have left?
No. Bag and tag.
There's no indication investigators ever even looked for the owner of the shoes or this hooded sweatshirt, found a few feet from Kendrick's body.
And if you look real close, there's something on this particular cuff. And then the question is, was it blood? Did you test it?
According to the crime lab report, no.
They know something happened in that gym, and they don't want it to come out.
For the Johnsons, there's no stronger indicator than this photo. It's of what appears to be blood dripping down a wall. Here's what Lowndes County Lieutenant Stride Jones told CNN about that wall in May.
And we tested it, and it was blood. Then we did DNA testing, and it was not the blood of Kendrick Johnson.
If it wasn't Kendrick blood, who blood was it?
Did you ever find out who it was or any involvement?
No, as of now, we haven't, no. But it doesn't appear to be related to our crime in any way.
What do you think about the decision not to test it further?
You can't explain it. If you're running the crime scene, then you're going to say that's potential evidence. Obviously, we're going to check this out and find out who does it belong to.
This is an athletic gym. I mean, obviously, this is where they conduct various athletic classes and instructions at.
A kid couldn't have scraped their knee or arm or something and got that much blood on the wall.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 impacts.
The opinion of our crime scene personnel After looking at it closely, the blood appeared as if it had been there for an extended period of time. It didn't appear to be very fresh.
School gym. There is no way that they would allow whoever was supposed to clean this gym to leave that blood on that wall.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
And there's the question, why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say was inches below Kendrick's head? Look at it again.
If he was inside the mat, reaching for that shoe, inside this tube, reaching for the shoe, and the shoe is beneath him, why isn't that shoe covered with blood?
And what do you think about that shoe not being covered with blood?
It was placed there.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
Sheriff Prime? Hi. Victor Blackwell, CNN.
Chris Prime.
The Sheriff's Department has denied a cover-up, but we took the Johnsons' concerns to Lowndes County Sheriff Chris Prime.
Got some questions about the Kendrick Johnson case.
I won't discuss that with you.
Why not, sir?
Because our case is closed.
The family has some concerns about why some things were not taken into evidence. There was blood on the wall.
I won't discuss the case with you.
And why is that?
Because I don't want to.
Then, less than a minute after he'd invited us in,
What did you not understand that I said? I'm through talking to you.
he ushered us out.
Thank you, Sheriff Prime.
I don't believe this was an accident. I think this young man met with foul play.
They never cross paths.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
KJ! Who killed KJ? Come on! Who killed KJ? Who killed KJ? Thank you. KJ! All right.
Today makes 11 months my son was found at Lowndes High School, rolled up in a mat. I was at that school the day they found my son. They treated us like nobody from day one. They're still treating us like nobody. But we declare that we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. They want us to leave, and when we leave, it's going to be when they give us justice for my son.
Amen. We want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting our family.
They never cross paths.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.
This is why we don't trust anything that the sheriff of Valdosta said, that anything ever come out their mouth.
It's gonna come out, no matter how much layers they put on top of what happened to Kendrick. It's gonna come out.